It should be Eli Manning. It should be Justin Pugh. It should be any of the veterans that they have there. And Eli Manning not corresponding with his teammates during the off week, during the bye week, is a big mistake. They've obviously got problems. They need to fix it. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm not saying he's playing poorly. I'm saying he's not doing enough as a leader to make sure that this team succeeds.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I also think he's part of the majority of good and great players that have checked out. Because first off...
He looks like he's checked out since he was born.
Look-wise? No doubt. He always looks like he's thinking about, like, if he left a light on at his house or something. Like, if the stove was left on, did I finish the coffee?
Later?
Do they have caramel corn at Regal Cinemas?
Yeah. I wonder if I packed that sweatshirt I really like. It's cold. But that's what he looks like he's thinking of. No argument there. But, again, I don't necessarily blame him for checking out either. They brought in weapons to try and help him. He's been depleted down to Sterling Shepard. And they did nothing to address the running situation in the backfield.
Nothing to address the O-line, which...
And again, if you're going to get destroyed in those first couple of games where they were really putting forth effort, but Eli's getting destroyed on every single play, I wouldn't want to play anymore. And I'm sorry, maybe I could be a vocal reader, but there's only so much I can rah-rah it up and not sound like I'm just full of
Well, retroactively... After they lost to the Cowboys, he should have been like, this was embarrassing. We cannot have this.
I'm sure, but I honestly think, and then
he's in that vein, he's like Carmelo. Everything's fine. Okay. Everything's fine.
Right. And he is in a sense. But I also think that the problem also lies in McAdoo, because every time he takes the podium, not once this season have I heard him take the blame. Not once.
Never.
He's found somebody else to call out. And if you're going to alienate the players, they're going to side with themselves, and they're not going to try and rally themselves to go into it.
Partially, you saw the players give him the finger this week. I think they...
Did you see the play with Eli where he, I don't know what it was. It definitely wasn't a pass, but he just kind of, rolled the ball forward.
Yeah.
He's like, here you go. You guys can have it.
Okay, so... sorry. I think, going back to McAdoo, the closest thing I've heard him say where he took blame, quote-unquote blame, is he said something along the lines of, maybe I shouldn't be calling the offensive plays. That's something we'll look into and we'll evaluate. Yeah, that's not taking blame.
No, that's maybe. But at a certain point, it's your fault, too. You can't call out everybody on the team and not take blame for this.
I think if I'm the Giants and I really want to stick it to Ben McAdoo, the best way...
We trade him to Cleveland?
Yeah. No, the best way...
That's what I would do.
The best way for the Giants to stick it to McAdoo are when there are players that are untouchable. Like, you're not going to trade such and such a player. You can't because whatever reason, or you're not going to cut them. Like Eli Manning, I want when, they're close to their second win, they're tied in the red zone, all they got to do is get ready to kick a field goal, Manning to just take a knee. Just keep taking knees. And then look over at McAdoo and hand him the ball.
Or just purposely fall back even though there's wide open wide receivers and then slide down and take the sack.
Yeah.
Put him out of field goal range, walk over and flip him the ball.
Yes. I kind of want him to do an obvious F you. F you, Ben McAdoo.
Well, I mean, I know the thing is, that would be a statement, but we know that the NFL players and a lot of the NFL players... and.
They have contract incentives in their contracts.
Right, but I don't like the idea that the head coach can sit here and fire blame, but God forbid a player was to be interviewed by his locker and be like, it's McAdoo's fault. He'd get fined immediately and reprimanded by the team.
Do you know what? It's really funny because you go to the opposite side of the building, and when things go right for the Jets, Todd Bowles is the first to say, you know what, Austin Seferian-Jenkins is great. He made a couple great catches. Josh McCown's playing better than we thought he would. And when they're doing poorly, it's my fault. I didn't have the guys ready. I think our play calling could have been better. And I'm the head coach. So even when the other coaches mess up, it's kind of on me for not getting them on the same page. He takes the blame for everything. Even when it's not his fault.
That's the difference between a head coach and a coordinator. Right there. Coordinators aren't going to be asked these questions. And if they are, it's very specific to their one unit and they can answer them. But as a head coach, you are supposed to be the one that is standing in front of the firing squad if your team is getting assaulted by media.
No, you're right. The head coach should be the protector of the coordinators.
Yeah.
The team.
And should be the protector of the team. Like my favorite all-time rant in all of sports.
Don't yell at them.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
Why?
Is that almost 10 years old now?
It's more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hands down one of the best
Absolutely.
Yeah.
sound bites I've ever heard.
Absolutely. And he's exactly right. If you have something to say, it's my team. It's not his team. It's my team. I decide who plays. I decide what plays he plays. I decide what plays to call that he plays. Not him. He has absolutely no say in what I'm calling. He just has to execute it. And is he executing it? Not really. But you know what? He's 19.
You know,
I'm 40.
But here's
Come
the
at
thing.
me.
I'm seeing players have better responses in post-game interviews than I'm seeing the head coach. Because players are sitting there going, well, we're the ones on the field. It is our responsibility to execute, and we're just not executing. We didn't put forth the correct effort. No kidding. I saw you stop. Okay, I know you're not putting forth the effort. I didn't need you to explain to me. I need McAdoo to explain to me what he's thinking.
I think Jason Pierre-Paul said it best. You saw the game.
Yeah.
That's all he said. You saw the game.
Yeah.
But McAdoo is going around saying things like, oh, well, no, I'm not ready to call this an embarrassment. I'm disappointed. I have to go back and watch the tape to really evaluate. Really? Because the evaluation I saw was that your team can't play football. And you know what? You guys are probably going to laugh. Eric Flowers played well.
Eric Flowers has not been responsible for a sack since week 2.
Eric Flowers
He has
played
not given up
well.
a sack by his position since week 2. So Eric Flowers is actually progressing
And-
for the first time in 4 years.
In all fairness, they are also giving Eric Flowers help. But
Yeah.
the point being...
Oh, really? It only took you 4 years to do that.
The point being, Eric Flowers isn't playing as bad as others. Bobby Hart is a D3 lineman at best.
I hope the Maras are kicking themselves.
Over Laramie Tunzel?
No, over letting Coughlin, or forcing Coughlin out the door.
I also give him some of the blame, too. Because why are the Giants in this situation? Because your quote-unquote best player, the golden child of the program, or not program, of the...
Franchise.
Yeah, of the franchise, can do absolutely no wrong in the eyes of the owners. Odell Beckham wasn't reprimanded as in his infancy with the team. Coughlin should have done a better job of hounding him, like he's done with other players.
This game is going to be like 84 to 86.
I am hoping.
This is getting out of control.
It's 30-24 with
In the second quarter.
yeah, in the second quarter, and they're just warming up.
I hope you bet the over. Anyone.
Yeah. By the way, it's Akron versus Ohio still, so in case you're wondering what game we're watching as we're talking.
Whew. All right.
Really quick, one more thing.
Yeah, hurry
And-
up. This is getting depressing.
And again, Tony, don't yell at me.
Can't promise anyone.
At what point do the Giants say it's over? We now are looking at drafting a quarterback for real. Let's see what Davis Webb has before we waste a first-round pick on a quarterback we didn't need to draft.
I mean, give Eli his last start, and at a certain point, maybe throw it in. But
I'm saying let Eli Manning play the first series of every game so he continues his streak.
Yeah, fine. But at this point, we've got to put him in at some point. My biggest fear is that he actually goes out and wins something.
That shouldn't be a fear.
I don't want them winning something right now. I need a running back, and there's a prime one in the draft.
There are 3 prime ones in the draft. One, that stock is absolutely falling.
Right, but he's falling because of the talent he's playing. As far as his talent across the board,
And then also, do you really think the Saints are going to be able to keep Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram?
it's going to be tough. But
No.
it's
Nope. It's not going to happen.
either way. The Giants need they need to figure out where Nassif is, because you need to figure out whether or not a quarterback has to be taken in the draft or not.
Right. I think tell Eli Manning, listen, we're going to, help you get your streak, continue your streak and all that. But it's come to the
I
point.
can't rely on McAdoo to consciously make that decision because I can't consciously rely on him to make any good decision.
All right, let's move on to something else. Been on this
But I agree with you.
Perfect. All right, and then really quickly, last thing: Jerry Reese, Ben McAdoo, Spagnuolo. I think they're all gone next year. Spagnuolo, unfortunately, is going to get cut because of the garbage with Reese and McAdoo.
Huh.
So,
I don't see Spagnuolo leaving. I see both of them getting ejected, though. Reese is done. You can't blow the draft this many times and have this level of productivity.
I mean, congrats, you scored on a can't miss prospect. You drafted the best player that fell to you because of his attitude. Okay, all right.
He's done that, but every other draft, he's pissed away the first round pick on somebody that was overrated.
I think it was Humpty Canny and Rothenberg who had said, when you get to your fifth year, the guys that you drafted 5 years ago should really be the ones leading you forward. From their draft 5, 6, and 7 years ago, one player is still on the team.
Yeah, problem. Huge problem.
All right, let's move on now to the final game. That was Patriots-Broncos. Actually, that's not the final game. Patriots-Broncos 41-16. Obviously, the Patriots won that one.
Mm-hmm.
The New England Cheatriots. Is this a different Broncos team than the one that dominated the Cowboys, or did they just expose something within the Cowboys, and they've been this bad, and we've just had those rose-colored glasses on for the first few weeks? I think they're that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been showing more and more. They can't do anything on offense.
No, I think it also has to do with Brock Lobster being terrible. Shouldn't be in he's not. How many times do you need to be given the chance to be a starting quarterback and be that bad? Like I
They
said,
have Chad Kelly.
I would rather see Chad Kelly in right now if I was a Broncos fan.
They have Chad Kelly.
I watched a bit of the Broncos Patriots game, and the announcers were like,
I am sorry.
The announcers were like, "Oh, Osweiler's actually playing pretty well tonight. He has yet to throw a pick. Next play pick."
Yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah. It's almost guaranteed. It's like he's the reincarnation of Jay Cutler.
I mean, I'd rather have him than Savage.
Except he's 6'6" and is really strong. If you put him in Jay Cutler's body, or with Jay Cutler's, but Jay Cutler's a very intelligent football player. I mean, he went to Vanderbilt, so he's got the intelligence
Brock
factor.
Osweiler's not.
And Brock Osweiler's got the physical attributes. He's big, fast, and strong.
Accuracy, I couldn't trust him to throw a ball into the ocean from the beach.
You hit the sand.
Like that's the problem. Like
You're in the water and you hit the sand.
He's not. No.
All right.
Good, you can throw it out of the building. Bet you can't hit a car in the parking lot.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, you can be as strong as you want if you can't get the ball to the wide receiver. You have Demaryius Thomas, for God's sakes.
That's a good point.
Just throw it up in his direction. Let him jump ball everything.
Exactly.
Hey, he hit a touchdown. Won me one of my leagues by 2 points. It was very nice.
Well, you got lucky then, because Osweiler could have missed him.
Well, a little bit of a tease. I got beat in my Death Wish Fantasy League, and that is why we're going to have a special guest on next week. And at the end of the show, we're going to reveal who it is. Mm-hmm. But we have one.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have one game left to talk about, and that is Cam Newton's Panthers. And Cam Newton's a bad, bad man. He was
on fire.
Electric.
Yeah.
Yes. He was Empire. He was fire.
He took a steamy dump on the Dolphins' chest.
Well, I mean, the Dolphins, they got used to that offensive line coach. So now anytime they see the white lines on the field, they think they need to snort them.
Panthers maybe are finally getting it together, putting together.
But they also played a bad team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they look like, they're now 7-3, well into the playoff hunt. They look like if it's going to be between them and the Saints for the spot and the wild card.
Until they both lose the rest of their games and the Buccaneers win them all.